Welcome back to the Rowan's podcast. I am the Rowan. Grab yourself a cup of coffee and pull up a chair and let's have a chat. I myself have an ice cold cup of coffee, pretty much because I've sat here for an hour and a half trying to record an episode, and I haven't liked anything that I have done so far, and I keep redoing it over and over again, and I'm having quite a bout of executive dysfunction. So I'm going to just not even talk about this subject that I was going to talk about. Well, I might touch on it, but I guess I'm just going to say, I have listened over some of my podcast episodes, and I just want to reach out to everybody and say that for those who don't understand the complexity of neurodivergency, the complexity of autism, ADHD, or IDHD. A lot of my posts might look like I am just complaining about everything under the sun, that I have every sort of disorder under the sun, and that everything is such a problem for me, and that I must be just this big space case and can't handle life at all. And I know that is something that a lot of us have probably heard from other people, other neurotypicals, or that we ourselves worry that that's what other people are talking about or saying about us. Because I know I worry about that. That is part of the reason why most of us continue to mask as long as we do, as long as we have, even after, like us late diagnosed, we have spent our entire lives masking because we were afraid of that very thing. And when we are diagnosed late, we continue that masking because we worry about that. Plus, we have the added, so now you're autistic thing. Well, you never looked like it before. You never acted like it before. Well, now you are. Because once we start unmasking, well, now we have a whole different way that we're, interacting with the world, because we're interacting in our true normal, in our true selves rather than the masked one. And it makes people think that we're being fake all of a sudden when we're not, when we were fake to begin with. My whole point in saying all this is that we are okay the way that we are. And there is a whole big complex thing with it. And there are a lot of underlying symptoms and stuff. And it is not just that there's something, it's not that there's anything wrong with us. It's just the way our brains interact with the world around us. And our brains interact differently than neurotypicals do. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just a difference. It is a disability to the point of the fact that the world is basically centered around the way the neurotypical brain functions. And since a lot of things are not set up to accommodate those of us who are neurodivergent, it does make things a little bit disabling for us. But it doesn't mean that we're different. Okay, it just means that we are different. It doesn't mean that we are disabled, if that makes sense to you. Like, our differences causes a disability because of the way the world is set up around us, if that makes sense. And yes, I do have rejection sensitivity dysphoria. Yes, I do have time blindness. Yes, I do have executive dysfunction issues. Yes, I do forget things. Yes, I do have problems with object permanence. Yes, I do have, social inabilities, like I don't understand certain social things. Yes, I have delayed processing when I listen to people talk. Sometimes all I hear is gobbledygook coming out until my brain can rearrange the words. Like, I used to think it was an ear problem. Like, I thought I had a hearing problem. And I went to the doctor and had a whole workup done on my ears. And the only thing they found was that the tinnitus in my ears had made it so I can't hear some higher pitched things. But other than that, my hearing was just fine. Turns out it's just delayed processing. I would hear words all jumbled up. Like, someone would talk to me and I would look straight at them. I would go to Burger King and I would order my thing, and the lady at the counter would say whatever she was going to say back to me, and I would just hear the words, but they would be all different. Either it'd be gobbledygook like Charlie Brown's teacher, or it would just be I could hear the words, but they were all out of order. And I had to sit and I had to reorder them, like visualize those words in my head and reorder them before I could answer back. And I used to thought, like I said, I used to thought there was something wrong with my ears. Well, that's not what it was. I have delayed processing sometimes. Like you can start to say something to me, you say something to me, and I could say what, and then you start to repeat it, and before you get it finished, then I can answer you. Well, why did you say what if you knew what it was? It wasn't that. It's just it took me that long to process it so that I could answer. The what is my way of giving myself time to process it so I can answer. And that's the other thing. Like my son, Buddy, he dealt with that quite a lot when he was younger, and his teachers and other officials that worked with him would not give him the chance to answer questions. They would ask him question after question after question, and if he wouldn't answer, then right away, like immediately, then they would pummel him with more questions. And then, oh, well, you're not answering this. Well, then this. And it would frustrate him, and then he would get so upset. And, well, why is the kid getting upset? You know, it's like, I tried to explain to them, you need to give him a chance to answer you. He's not going to answer you right away. He has to think about it for a minute, you know. And I thought, for a while there, I thought he just needed to think about his answer so he could get his words. And no, he was processing it so he could hear it because he could understand what they were saying. And we had a lot of issues with that. And it was maddening to him. It was frustrating to me to watch him go through that. And the same thing happens between me and my husband. He'll ask me a question and demand an answer right away. Like he wants his answer right away, no delay. And if I don't answer him right away, within like a second, well, fine, whatever. Dang it, give me a minute, give me a minute. He has ADHD, but he doesn't have that delayed processing. And it's like, well, part of that I think is because he's got his mind trained, from military and growing up the way he did on the farm, and things having to be done, whatever. I think it just got into him that, hey, you got to boom, 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 boom. Me, I didn't really have all that. I kind of got pampered and baby as a kid. Oh, no way, but yeah, I did. And so I'm probably gonna edit that part out. We'll see. No, I didn't have a harsh upbringing, nor did I was in the military briefly, but not as long as he was, and it didn't for medical reasons. Okay, I got out of basic, and as everybody was graduating, I got out the day my group there graduated for medical reasons. So it had nothing to do with ADHD, but injury and whatnot. But anyways, so he I don't know. I'm not making any sense. I'm just babbling now, so I'm probably going to have to edit that out too. But I'm saying this because I want the people who do listen to this to understand that I am not a hypochondriac, and I am not I don't even know if hypochondriac is the right word. I mean, some people who listen to all my different podcasts might think, man, she thinks she's got a lot wrong with her, this, and this. No, those are just the different traits that I deal with on an everyday basis. And I'm trying to get some sort of awareness of what it's like to deal with being ADHD on a daily basis. Not every day do my traits cause me problems. And if they do, a lot of times it's mild. There's some days where it's really bad. Like yesterday, I left work at the end of my ability to cope. And I left my poor assistant manager with a mess at work she had to clean up, a literal mess. And being short-staffed yesterday after I left because someone else decided to call in sick or come in and say they couldn't come to work and then leave. I don't get that one, but yeah, that actually happened. I watched it happen. I was like, who walks into work and say they're calling in sick and then leaving? I mean, normally you actually call in sick. You don't actually go to work to say you can't be there. I don't know. It was weird. Everybody's different though. Maybe their phone was down or something. I don't know. Who knows? But it was different. But everybody's symptoms are different. Everybody's symptoms from a day to day are different. And we walk through this world that is built for neurotypicals, like we are aliens from a different planet trying to figure everything out. And sometimes we're pretty good with it. Sometimes we can play the chameleon and fit right in, and other times, nah. Like the Tea Party, I was able to just totally unmask and be myself, and man, did I have fun. I had just so much fun. I could be myself. And one of the things I did was we had a freestyle dance out so that when we all left the sanctuary to go into the fellowship hall to actually have the tea service after we had like the skit and the singers and stuff from the theater. Um, everyone was we were told to dance on our way out, kind of like a conga line, but not. Everyone could do their own little dance moves of what they felt that they could do. And these are older ladies. Most of them were within like 60, and I think the oldest was 90 something years old. Okay. And so whatever their ability they felt that they could do. And we were supposed to, us that were involved with the team, was supposed to intermix ourselves in between everybody, in different spots to help lead them all out. I stayed behind. And as everyone was going past me, because they had to go past me to go out. So then one of the other ladies who bought the dress for me, who ordered the dress for me to wear, the flapper dress with all the fringes, she said, you got to keep the fringes moving. So what I did was I stayed behind. And as the ladies went by, I would egg them on to get them to do little dance moves, like as to what I thought that, they might be able to do, like the little arm movements for the hula, or maybe the hand jive, or one of the younger type ladies, the Charleston kicks or whatever. So I would just switch, and I just had so much fun just egging them on, and they were all laughing and smiling and trying to do little dances too as they were going out, and just trying to get them going and stuff, get them all hyped up. And that was really, really fun. And I had a couple older ladies, they were in their 80s, and they come up to me and they started doing the bee's knees. And then, do you know this? You should have done this. And they were doing the bee's knees. And if anybody knows what that is where you're standing and you're bumping your knees together, and you have your hands on your knees and you're switching hands from knee to knee, like you're crossing your hands and opening your knees up and then closing them and crossing them. Look it up. If you look up those dance moves, the bee's knees. And these were a couple of 80-year-old ladies showing me the bee's knees. I'm like, yeah, I know the bee's knees. And I was doing it with them. And so they thought that was fun. It's like, you should have done that when you were up there. I had thought about doing it as part of the skit, but I thought the dress was kind of short, and I was like, but yeah, so that was fun. And I had a blast doing that because that's me. That's me. I grew up dancing, as a kid from 5 years old through 18, and danced here and there off and on doing different things all throughout, my adult life. And I love dancing. And so, yeah, that was so much fun. And it's wonderful when we're able to unmask like that and just be ourselves. Like everyone there thought it was just part of the whole skit and the whole routine and everything, and I was just whatever. But no, I was having fun. That was being me. I was comfortable. Everyone was laughing and everyone was having fun, and everyone was smiling, and it was so fun. So I encourage you, if anybody can ever get yourself in a situation where you can just totally unmask and just be yourself, do it. Just be yourself. Just be happy. And if you can do it every day on a day-to-day basis, that's amazing. And I admire those people who do just do that, who just say, I don't care, and I'm not going to mask. I'm just going to be me. I admire those people who can do that. I would say on average, I am like 50-50 masking. Some days 75, like unmasking. I mean, some days 75% unmasking. That's way higher percentage than I've ever done. And sometimes it's a very positive experience. Sometimes it's not. But I encourage you. Like I admire those people that are just 100%. Like Torin Wolf, I spoke about him before. He's a YouTuber with him and his mom, and she's autistic as well as he is, and they're different. They're on different part of the spectrum, and I admire the both of them. Like she spent her entire life masking, and she was late diagnosed, but he had always, he had been diagnosed since he was a child, and so she allowed him just to be totally unmasked, and he's lived his life entirely unmasked. And I mean, there are times where he'll modulate his behavior a little bit just to make other people feel comfortable if it's really, really needed. But for the most part, he is encouraged to be unmasked and to just be himself. And he's an amazing young man. And I really like watching their YouTube videos and their shorts and stuff. His mom just seems like a really loving parent, very supportive and nurturing parent. And I really admire them. And it's Torrin Wolf, and I believe his mother's name's Serenity Wolf, I think. So if you want to look them up on YouTube, go right ahead. They're amazing. They're amazing people. And his dad too also is encouraging too. So his dad's very supportive as well. I don't know if his dad has his own. I know he's in some of the videos, but I don't know if he has his own thing or not. I don't know. But anyways, so why I'm getting into all this is I just want to be me. And I just want other people to know, if you listen to this and you hear me talking about my different traits or the different things that I deal with, I'm not complaining, and I don't know. I'm just trying to raise awareness, connect with other people, because I think if I share my experiences, maybe it can help someone else, or help someone understand themselves, or understand someone else that they love that they're dealing with. And I really want to do more episodes on encouraging people who are in relationships with neurodivergence, of how to help them, how to support them. I really would like to do some more like that, because I believe that's really important too. My hubby, he's, like I said, he's ADHD. He's not autistic, although sometimes I wonder. But he like I said, he doesn't show a lot of his traits. And between men and women, it is different. So he would expect me to be like him, and I'm not. And so sometimes my traits are vastly different than his, and he doesn't understand. A lot of times he doesn't have patience for them, and it's difficult for him to deal with me. And a lot of times there are things that I would like to say to him to get better help from him. A lot of times, though, he's immensely helpful. It just depends. And I am rambling. Like I've rambled for the last hour and a half now, trying to get an episode out. And we'll see if this one actually makes it up. This one has the better green light to it than the last few that I've tried. But I don't have the energy right now to edit it, so this is not going up right away. So once this is up, this is probably either hours or days after I've recorded it. So Sue, just in case you're wondering, because I know you're going to be listening, this took me a while. I'm going to need your input pretty soon, my friend, because I am going to need more ideas. Actually, any of my listeners out there, please drop a comment on anything that you might want me to talk about. Any subject, as long as it's not political. I'll get back with you, and we'll discuss about, what you'd like to hear about it. And maybe I'll do an episode. And if anybody wants to come on here and chat with me, or even just do an episode on their own, and feel free to get a hold of me. Okay. I am willing to chat. So I am gonna shut this down right now, because I've got some housework I gotta get done. So you all have a nice day, and more later. Bye.